Hello, I hope you're having a great day. Don't forget to get out, make something, create something, or learn something new. And if you're learning something new by being here, welcome. So in this video I'm going to be making a Damascus Skinner knife. I started out with 80 CRV2 and 15 and 20 steel in 10 layers. Starting out with a billet this large, I believe would probably be safe for me to say was a little bit ambitious of me to try and work all this metal with a hand hammer. And obviously I started out with a handle that was way too skinny, way too small. So I added this clip in just to show people is how fast a fire can start in a workshop like this. Just a little bit of scale, or a little bit of some sparks falling on a paper towel. Just keep your shops clean. If you have a shop, you keep it clean. Make sure you don't have anything flammable on the floors that catch fire easily. So the worst thing that can happen is whenever you're forging, whenever you're working with hot steel, hot anything, it's really easy for things to catch fire, and just be mindful of what's going on. Just another testament to my poor welding skills. You can see the handle fell off. And now we're back with a bigger, beefier, more appropriate handle for the size of billet. For those playing the game, here's your chance. Drop. Drop. And just remember, anything, if you try hard enough, can be a hammer. Now that I have the billet fully forge welded, we're going to go ahead and cut it, fold it, clean up the surfaces that are going to be welded, and fold it onto itself. You can go from 10 layers to 20 layers. This will be the only secondary weld, so the billet will end up 20 layers, and that'll be it. The hammer is hanging on by just a little bit of nothing. Oh, and I saved it. But those of you playing the game, here you go. Time to cut off the section of metal that I'm actually going to be using for the knife. The other portion of the metal that I won't be using will be going to my next Damascus project, which you'll have to wait to find out what that will be. To the twisting. It's really uninteresting, very quick. And tools with rubber handles, not a good thing to put very hot steel next to. Alright, time for twist attempt number 1. And due to my unmounted vise and poor twisting tools, poor choice of twisting tools, didn't move. So I'm going to try that again. Hopefully be more successful in this attempt. Rubber handles removed. Smart. Good idea. Alright, we got a whole quarter turn this time. Fantastic. Let's try and attack this from a different angle, shall we? I'll remind you now, this is a 125-pound vise. Even though it's not mounted to anything, I do have it cargo strapped to the box underneath it. And it just takes that much force to twist this metal. If you don't have the right tools, it makes it a really difficult procedure, really tedious procedure. But once I got the metal twisted properly, I got probably a solid 6 to 10 turns on it. Go ahead and hammer it out into a rough knife shape. I'm going to leave this very thick and grind it to the dimensions and profile that I want it. I'm not actually going to forge it all the way down to close to finish. I want to leave it thick, that way any cracks or anything that might surface, hopefully have enough metal to grind those out. Due to the twisting process, it kind of creates some of the cold chunks or folds in the metal that end up creating points that can form cracks very easily. So I'm being careful with this one since I've failed at making this specific knife so many times. This is attempt number 4 for your notes. Yes, there was a crack that ended up developing in the handle part of the material, but I was able to forge it out to a point where I was able to cut the cracked material out of the final product. As you can see here, as I've done before in some of my previous videos, I'm using water to basically create a steam explosion to blow off most of the forge scale that's formed on the surface of the metal. Some of the hard scaling just has to be grinded off in the finished product. is my chunk of steel that is slightly in a knife shape, and drawing that eventually would like it to look like, and just kind of went from there. Did a whole bunch of grinding, hours of grinding, and now it's time for the quench. Been through 3 normalizing cycles to get all the grain structure in a as uniform and small crystalline structure as possible. And now on to sharpening. For those of you that do leather work, I apologize. This was my first attempt and time actually working with leather, but I don't think I did too bad for my first time. And now the sharpening. This process took hours, but we'll speed through it for your enjoyment. I've had several requests from people to actually show the sharpening and edge establishment of my knives, so that's the reason why I put most of the sharpening process in the video. I know for some it'll be extremely boring. That's why I decided to speed up the video. That way those that did want to see it could see it, but actually at the same time, the ones that aren't really interested in it don't have to sit through it too long. After sharpening from a 400 grit stone all the way up to 12,000 grit stone, I actually didn't film it, but I took the knife to a leather strop to polish the edge, take it to about a mirror finish. That way it would be as close to shiny as the rest of the blade, be somewhat uniform. That's pretty if I don't say so myself. This knife came out so much better than I originally had planned. And now for the sharpness test. Now to shred some paper. Now for the cardboard roll, paper towel roll cutting attempt. First cut, not good enough. Didn't quite get it due to my poor skills, but the second cut, much better. I will say I'm no samurai, but these cuts are pretty good. I actually got this idea from another blacksmith I found on Instagram, Neil Kamimura. He's a fantastic bladesmith from Hawaii. And there's the finished product. Thank you for joining me. Here's your daily dose of puppies. Thank you for joining me, and don't forget to get out, make, create, learn something new, and you'll be happy you did. I promise.